Hey traders, it's Chris from thetradingmentors.com. This is a quick coaching session for gold traders using the gold on steroids software, which I'm going to go back to Friday just to give you an explanation and a technical analysis, what we're looking for before we actually trade, what we're looking for, what the entry points are, what the exit points are, where your stop loss is, so you get a better feel of how to trade successfully. So let me go first of all, look on the left. This is a 30-minute chart, and what do we know before the market is open? So what we know from pre-Friday London Open, we know that this area here at the bottom left is a very strong demand zone. So that's before the markets have actually hit it, and we can see that the price is highly likely to bounce on that. Now this is not hindsight, this is the fact that the demand zone and a buy power of 62 is already established overnight during the Asian session, so we can expect the price to bounce. How far it goes, we don't know, but we do have a way of making our strategy highly successful by using tools that give us at least 2-to-1 risk to reward on each position. Now what I'm going to do now is rewind the 5-minute chart and coincide with this. Now what I've got here, if you see this here, I've drawn a line on the top of this demand zone, so we can have a price. 4318 is the number, the magic number, where the price is highly likely to have a problem with going down any further. Now, once we have that, we can use it in several ways. First of all, if you want to go short on this, that's a really nice target to go by, isn't it? So let me just rewind this a little bit, and we can go back to this position here, where we had a breakdown on the 5-minute chart here and a change of character. So we know that, let's get rid of that for a moment. Now we know that this area here, 4318, is a problem because the price is highly likely to bounce in that area. But let me play this forward just to give you a flavor of how it works, why it works, and why you should have this system in your portfolio, because it's a highly efficient, highly easy to use, and highly successful. So as we go forward, I'll be freezing this any moment now, and we can see that the price is, it's not freezing for me. Now it is. Okay, so we can see that the price is moving up into a resistance zone here, which is colored in red on the left. We can see that the price has pulled up really nicely, and we can see that the price here is about 43.30. So if we look at our signal, our sell signal, where all the sellers come in, and the price is going to then head for 43.18. Now that is it worth it? It's squeezed up there, but this is 130 pips from there, depending on what point you get in. So we can actually grab 130 pips there and bank that money as it heads into that demand zone, if you so wish. It's not my way of trading, but it is a technique that you can use often throughout the day. So let's wind this forward and see what happens. You know what happens. It goes through that area there, and it has a problem, doesn't it? Because it has hit your target of 43.18, and you can immediately buy it in that zone if you wish. Not my preference, but something that you might want to choose. So let me wind this forward, and I'll show you the technique which works at least 90% of the time, and where you can grab it and you can learn from it and you can profit from it. So let me wind this forward for you and show you the entry point at which you are going to buy into gold. And there it is there. So you've got a big fat juicy buy signal on the 5-minute chart. And what also has happened is that 3 targets have been given to you from the software, and it generates 43.35, 43.43, and then up to 43.51. Now you can choose a round figure. 43.50 is the final destination, and that makes sense because round numbers are really, really important. Now let's just clarify this so that we can get a better picture in terms of buying. And we can see at this point here that the price has bounced off this demand area, which we knew about from overnight. And then we can go down into the 15-minute chart, and you can actually see on the left all the buyers are in before the price has jumped and moved up 200 or 300 pips. Now 200 or 300 pips might not sound a lot, but if you grab that every day, then you're going to make a lot of money. So here's the buyers in on the left, on the demand zone, and at the same time you have all the buyers in on the 5-minute chart as well. This is really, really important because even though the volumes might not be there, it doesn't matter. The fact that the price is telling you to buy and you have no reason left but to buy it. Okay, in other words, buy on the left, buy on the right. Now there are going to be additional buying opportunities throughout this move and all the moves that come in the future. And let me just clarify. So this is your technique for buying when all the buyers are in. Here, 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 throughout the day. You can actually see how this works, why it works, and how you can use it very, very simply. The idea that you need to be at your chart all day is nonsense. You do not. You only need to be at the position when all the buyers are in. And so I will actually send you a gold trading signal exactly when this happens here. Okay, so when you get a big, fat, beautiful buy signal here, and all the buyers are in here, and all the buyers are in here, then we will actually have no reason left but to buy it. And as you can see, the end result is that the price moves up and it hits 43.35, 43.43, and then 43.51. Now you can have 3 positions open if you wish, but just make sure that your money management rules are in play. You're not going to be risking too much, in other words, because sometimes it doesn't work. That's just life. But nonetheless, if you get a position where you can have 2 or 3 times 248 pips with a 2.91 risk to reward, nearly 3 times risk, then you would do very nicely indeed. Okay, so that's an explanation of how gold on steroids works and how you can use it and benefit and profit. If you want the software, if you want the coaching for 12 months, if you want the gold signals, then all the links are in the description.